and you can interact with the program because the program is active on X as well. Nigeria Info PH, you're welcome. So I would introduce my guest in a bit. You could already hear the phone noise in the background. But before we do, I'd like to tell you a quick story as to reports that I got on Friday. Now, on Friday, the executive chairman of Akpor local government area did mention that he heeded to the call of Oginigba people. Now, he then said in that report that he has officially reopened Oginigba market that was closed by the former administration. That's the administration of Nyesom Wike. But let's quickly take a listen to what he said. All right. So I do not know if you listened and you could hear, what he was saying, but the chairman of Akpor local government area was basically talking about, reopening the market at Oginigba and saying that the land does not belong to one individual, but the land belongs to the Oginigba people. So if I'm looking at the video is right in front of me, on the screen in front of me, and I realized that there is a shopping mall, sited on that land. Looking at the economic complications, or would I say economic consequences that will erupt as a result of this. Is it positive? Is it negative? We do not know, but we want to talk about it. Remember, this conversation is development, and I would like you, to join the conversation. Whether you stay or use that market or not, we would like to get your thoughts. Remember, it is for the development of Rivers State. So if one community is developed, every other community is one way or the other affected. Joining me to have this conversation is a socio-political commentator, Marcus Ijioma. Marcus, welcome on the show. Can you hear me very well?
I can hear you, Kala. Good evening, Port Harcourt. Good evening, Niger Delta.
All right, welcome. It seems noisy on your end. I don't know if you're trying to use a earpiece or something. But
yes, I'm trying to use an earpiece. If that is too noisy, I can just pull it off.
Yeah, please do. It's noisy on your end. Okay, so first question. You're very much... Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now. You're very much... aware of that area. As a matter of fact, if I remember vividly on the show at one time, we had talked about you being waylaid around that place. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. On the Slaughter Bridge, yes. My phone was stolen.
And you were injured as well, if I remember vividly.
No, that was not the one that resulted to the injury. Mine, it was a very smooth robbery, like what Michael Jackson will call smooth criminal.
Okay.
Somebody got me distracted on the driver's side. Somebody else, another partner, dipped his hand into my car because my passenger side glass was one down. And my phone that was plugged in the car charging was taken. Before I could realize it, they had run under the bridge.
Okay. So just to do a quick reminder, when that market was dislodged by the previous administration, I wonder what your reaction was.
It was mixed feeling because I think that closure started with the COVID-19 lockdown.
Okay.
I think the first excuse that came up was that they were not complying with COVID-19 protocols. And the market was shut down. That was last we heard about it before we saw the further demolition and then the emergence of the departmental store.
And which do you think is more impactful to that area? You know, because on the show we're trying to understand which is it the market? Because you said mixed feelings. What were those mixed feelings? Were you sad about the fact that the market wasn't there because that's where you would usually get, you know, groceries or food supplies? I'm wondering what was the mixed feeling?
Yeah, the market, the Oginigba market, or popularly called the slaughter market, holds a lot of memories for me. One of the first market I knew in Port Harcourt, having come into Port Harcourt as a copper back then, as a youth copper back then. But fast forward to where we are today, the market holds a lot of significance. The market started, I think, as a result of the government-owned slaughter, the abattoir, located at the same area before now. And like every abattoir, you know, most times when there's an abattoir, the other things that accompany the cooking of meat begins to surface. Because you now start having tomatoes, pepper, you know, virtually every ingredient that goes with meat begins to resurface. So I can imagine that was how the market came about, you know. But the downside of the market was that it was quite dirty. It was also not well kept in terms of traffic control. At a point when the double lane was constructed from Woji into Transamaji, the whole place was sealed. It became one narrow path to enter the market and one narrow path to come out. So you can imagine what happened in the time of an emergency. So one thought that having shut down the market for a long time, it was shut at the same time, I think, with oil mill during the lockdown. And so we're expecting that by the time the market is coming back, all of these issues would have been addressed. You know, proper exit and entrance, and then the slaughter slabs renovated. Because for me personally, I had health and safety concerns because I knew at a point they were using tires to roast skins, and then they were sourcing their water for washing the meat directly from the creek without any form of treatment or purification. This I can tell you for free because, like I said, it's a market I patronize virtually every week. So that is the negative side of it, in addition to the issue of safety and robbery and all of those things. However, the positive side of it was a huge economic life wire, a large kind of employment for people. So we moved from fry pan to fire. We now have a situation where, because the market was demolished and all of that, and no alternative was provided, you now realize that people are not selling on the streets. So the whole of the stretch from the zoo all the way down to this other community behind the zoo, I'm trying to remember the name now. You know, the whole of that stretch, people sell foodstuff on the road now. So opening the market is a positive sign. However, I would have expected that the chairman shouldn't have been in a hurry to open it. He would have put proper structure, proper market structure in place, not opening it up for another round of makeshift market that will still become a criminal hideout.
So you're saying it opens up to, it opens up. I do mean you're trying to say opens up the economic strength of
the economic angle of the community and the employment generation and creation. All of those things are the positive side. However, the market has not been reconstructed. So is he opening it for people to go and make wooden shops? Or is it going to be a proper construction before the market is open? This is what I'm expecting to hear from the chairman.
All right. Now, let's talk security. You, once again, you make use of that route almost every time.
Every day, yes.
Has security improved ever since the, dislodgement of that market?
Well, I think I wouldn't say it improved. I think they transferred.
Because
because they relocated. Because the most dangerous part of that market is the under the bridge linking the Woji community with the Oginigba community. Okay, so under that bridge, there's a lot of recycling stuff going on there, and then it's a very terrible hideout, not just for criminals, even for prostitution and drugs.
Okay.
I remember when my phone got missing, the policemen at the roundabout told me, now so those boys, they behave. This was my experience. Now so then they behave. And for those of us who drive, we are not at risk as much as those who enter public transport, who board public transport from the slaughter roundabout, either to Elelenwo or to Apajo. Those are the people that run the biggest risk, because at some time when there is no vehicle, you are forced to stand in front of the zoo for maybe a couple of minutes. That is the point you are at risk between the hour of 6 p.m. up until late into the night. So another dangerous time is when you now try to, maybe there's a traffic situation around YKC and you have to now cross the bridge on foot.
So when
you can be robbed on that bridge.
When you say they relocated, I don't know. Can you expatiate? Can you
They
expound?
relocated from the market. You know the location where the market is. People used to sleep in that market illegally, as it were. And when they rob you, they run into the darkness, into the market. You can't follow them into that place and under the bridge. But now the relocation has moved into under the bridge properly, and the community behind the zoo.
So it's
the
not
Ogujagu community. I remember Ogujagu now. That's where most of those guys run into, and under the bridge as well.
So it's not like it has stopped. It's just they've changed base. Okay. So
yes, they changed base, and the timing has also changed to very late in the night now, because traffic is hardly around there now, because the market is no longer on the road there.
Okay, so we do have a commercial. When we do come back, we'll revisit this very issue. And at that time, I would like us to look at the fact that there is a shopping mall there. It's done by investors, I want to believe. I do not know. There are rumors.
Of course, it's investors. Yes,
there are rumors here and there as to who the investors are. But however, when we do come back, we want to also compare, because you have painted a great picture that the market will bring some economic strength to that community. However, would it be compared to what the shopping mall will bring to that community? We want to look at it from these angles when we do come back. Do stay tuned, please.
I'll be waiting. Thank you.
Hard Facts will be right back.
June 4:27 p.m. You're still listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. And yes, we are looking at the issue as it relates to the market in Oginigba, popularly called the slaughter market. And it's going to be reopened according to the Obio Akpor chairman, Chijoke. Now, you should note that the constitution does saddle the local government with the operations of markets and motorbikes and all of that stuff. Even though the Land Use Act says that the state government is in charge or has got the power over land use. Interesting, right? So we're not going to go into the legal aspects of this. We're going to let the lawyers do their thing, as it is now the case in real estate. But we're looking at it from the economic angle. And I'm talking to, someone who would ply that route every now and then. I'm talking about Marcus Ijioma. And, he is giving us some historic perspective to the conversation. But right now, you and I will agree that there is a shopping mall sited on that land. In one of the videos of Chijoke was visit to that place, I did see the shopping mall. Oginigba people have also protested in times past about the land and asked for the land to return to them. So which is the best economic move? And that's what we're trying to find out on the show. Marcus, welcome back. Now,
thank you very much.
Before the break, you talked about the economic benefit. You said, it gives some economic strength to that community. However, do you think the economic strength of a market will be compared or can be compared to that shopping mall? Both will bring employment, as some people have argued. Both will be about buying and selling, as some people have argued. So which one trumps the other in terms of the positives?
In terms of the number and the ripple effect, the market will be more important. When you are talking about number of people to be affected directly or indirectly in terms of economic activities and job creation, the market will create more employment. However, as much as we are Africans and we want to maintain traditional institution of having our own markets and town halls and those beautiful ancestral things that we cherish a lot, I want to believe that the shopping mall is the future of the market. So even though today it may look like majority of the community people may not be able to afford to shop in that shopping mall or sell in that shopping mall or even walk in the shopping mall, it's still a welcome development. It changes the entire looks of that place because now you have the shopping mall facing the zoo. So I can see if the zoo is eventually revived, you can almost see that the shopping mall will naturally complement the zoo, which is directly opposite. On the other side of it, you have the total filling station. On the flip side, you have, I think it's Oil Data or one of these oil servicing companies somewhere on the other side. So it gives the area a different and a beautiful look. So the community at this point, for me, if you ask me, the most important thing for the community to do is to renegotiate, because I don't want to believe there was no conversation with the community before the shopping mall was built. That is very unlike Niger Delta. It's almost impossible for a grader to enter a land without a conversation with the landowners. But, for me, I would have assumed that since it was a government-run slaughter, the land belonged to the government. So I'm a bit confused as to the ownership of that land. However, even when government wants to take land from people, government is under obligation to compensate. Okay. So whatever it can be, one of us, so people they just sit in front there, play music, dance, cook. They were even cooking at a point. You could see pots, fire being made, food being shared to community women and elders seated in front of the shopping mall. So it was very interesting, but I felt bad because that was an investment wasting. Because each time you pass the shopping mall, you could see power on, which means electricity is on, burning. I want to assume that products have already been delivered to the shopping mall, awaiting the official opening. and they were still stuck inside, and they need to be refrigerated or powered to keep them useful. So it's not, nobody benefits from that kind of grandstanding and long-standing community issues.
All right.
And it doesn't send good signals to future investors.
But let me come in now. You've talked about the future and the supermarket being the future. But if you've been following certain market issues, let's even use I think Mile 1 market as an example, you would realize that a majority of the people in that market inherited shops and stalls from their fathers and their fathers. Are you not putting these families at risk? People who have been lifelong traders, are you not putting them at risk because you have not taken their source of livelihood?
Yeah, Scala, I agree with you. From the beginning, I emphasize the fact that it's a mixed feeling for me.
Okay.
Let me share an information with you.
Okay.
There was a time I went to that slaughter market to carry out a research. And what was the research? I heard the Minister of Agriculture at the time saying that Nigerians consume over 2,000 or 2,500 cows per day. Let's say consume 2,500 cows per day. So I wanted to find out what it would look like for Rivers State. So I went to the market and asked the management of the abattoir, our brothers from the north who were responsible for the major part of the slaughtering. And I was stunned to hear that on a bad day, this was as at 2017, on a bad day, they were killing 150 cows on that slab. And on the weekend, they were doing close to 250, 300. That is not the ones that were ferried out to riverine communities through the slaughter waterway. So it's a huge economic loss to the community. But that's why I said I'm shocked that issues of compensations are still being discussed. That should have been the first thing before the demolition happened.
But how do you, I mean, I understand the need for compensation, but given the statistics you've reeled out, like you said, it was humongous economic activities going on there. What kind of compensation, I mean, would compensate for that? Allow me to put it that way. What kind of compensation will compensate for that, given the fact that these people were making huge amounts of money just slaughtering cows in high numbers?
Now, in structuring that, for instance, I don't know the owners of that shopping mall. It's a new brand around Port Harcourt. Mm-hmm. I don't know their owners. Sincerely
of
speaking,
course,
I don't know.
There are allegations flying left, right, but let's not go into all of that.
Well, if the rumors are true, then I will beg to quote the words of the FCT minister, Inyendeba. So what the chairman is about to do is correct. It's okay. Because if you have built a shopping mall for the elites of Oginigba and those elites from Woji and neighboring Audley Road and the Transamagi bourgeois, then there's a need now for Inyendeba to build something for the community around the same shopping mall, so that if I can't afford to pay VAT, and shop with my ATM card in a cozy shop and park properly and do all of that, I can go to the back and get my own off the table. So everybody should have. So what I will advise at this point is that compensation should be duly paid to the community. The slaughter should be reconstructed back. We should have a proper constructed market, not this wooden thing we used to have. Because what we had was a slaughter slab that was already bad and a few privately built shops. They were not properly structured. If there was ever going to be a fire, nobody will escape that market, as it were before. So before the chairman hurriedly opens that place, he should make sure that the market is properly built up, even if it's open air type, the dwarf shops that you could see through with proper ventilation, and then do proper slab. Because what has happened to those slaughter is that they have now moved to the other side of the river, to the woody end of it, where you have a lot of the barge construction companies going on there, and then some other parts are hidden opposite the Ogujagu community in another unhygienic environment. So all of those slaughterhouses can then be reassembled back to where they used to be, but with a proper hygienic environment and where the government can properly generate revenue so that the supermarket can coexist alongside the ancestral market.
Okay.
The mistakes have already been made, but I fear that this may send a bad signal to future investors in that community if they insist on the supermarket being demolished.
All right. So if I do understand you, you're asking for the supermarket and the traditional market to coexist side by side.
Yes,
in your opinion,
proper
that's
structures.
All right. So just to stay on the line, let's take some phone calls and let's see if the Oginigba people or people who live around that area or people who once upon a time patronized that market, if they've got something to say about what we're talking about. So the numbers are still the same: 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp number for WhatsApp messages 0809 030 6416. Now, I do not know if you heard the sound clearly while I played the recording of the Obio Akpor executive chairman. I'm talking about Chukwuka Inwo, wherein he did say that he intends to reopen the market. I don't know if you heard it clearly.
I heard it loud and clear. I saw it on his Twitter handle as well.
Okay, so I'm going to play for those who are listening so that they can get a context as to what we are trying to talk about. Take a listen.
My name is Chukwuka, the capacity chairman. By the grace of God, I am the chairman of the Apollo program. Gingery is the vice chairman of So please, while we are here this morning, let me first of all to reassure all of you that in NL this market will start functioning. And that this land does not belong to one individual. This land belongs to Igbo people. On that note, can you hear me? On that note, we have officially ordered that this market should be open.
All right, so you had it there, officially ordered the market to be reopened. And it reminds me of the Ngboshimini market, or is it abattoir, that was built to replace the slaughter market. What has happened to that one? That's a conversation for another day. But let's go to NTO Road, where Clement is standing by. Clement, welcome on the show. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada.
Yeah, welcome, Clement. Are you there, Clement? Hello, Clement, can you hear me? Hello? All right, Clement, you would have to call back. I'm sorry. I've got Victor from Rukpoko. Victor, welcome. What is on your mind?
Good evening.
Yeah, welcome, Victor. Infants would break them. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Because last time I checked, market
for legal lawyer from them.
Zoo. I would have expected that our governor then would have probably converted that place to a park.
Oh, okay.
Building a park, getting an overhead bridge into the zoo.
Oh, okay. So
you
like
can set
a zoo extension.
Like a local boat ride or something.
Oh, okay.
That was what I was looking at, that the place will be for. but not to convert the place to a personal place. Because I don't think the supermarket belongs to River State. I don't think it belongs to River State.
But Toye, could it be that the supermarket bought the land, have it done legally? There was a legal transaction between the investors and the state government. That's also a possibility, right?
Yes, it could be possible that there is an investor who came in with a supermarket idea that probably the River State has a percentage on. But it has not been cleared to us if the River State government have a percentage that belongs to the citizens of River State. It has not been cleared to us. That's one. If you really want to reduce unemployment in River State, that is a very viable site to build a park.
And not a market. And not a market.
Abarut.
So you're saying a park and not a market, if I hear you correct. Not a market.
Where you have
interesting.
A viewing center, a cinema, build an overhead bridge, get the zoo. So people can come down to River State. It will be a recreational center, not a supermarket.
You're right.
That supermarket is not built for the benefit of the local. It is built for the elite.
All right.
I don't go to slaughter to buy things because it's quite dirty. I need a clean environment to buy my meat. But if you want to change it and you don't want to use it to do a proper abattoir, do a recreational center.
All right then. All right.
That will generate funds for River State. That's what we should look at.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony. I've got to go to other callers, but thank you for your thoughts there.
Thank you so much.
All right. I've got Clement from NTA Road. Clement, welcome. Let's talk. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right then.
The previous caller.
Clement, it seems like your network service is terrible. Just like the first time you called in, I still can't hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
I'm trying. Go ahead. Let's hear. Clement, I'm sorry. Clement, I'm sorry. I can't hear you. It's breaking, and I'm really sorry. I've got to let you go at this point. I've got Jude from Omuma. Jude, welcome. What is on your mind? Please talk to me.
On my mind is the question asked by Ijioma. He said, this land does not belong to one individual. It belongs to the community. Therefore, if it belongs to the community and government acquired the land, government should have paid compensation to the community. But if it belongs to one individual, that one individual has to have outright purchase of the land. So from what I understand, either is government acquiring the land. If government has acquired the land, government should have built something that we can say government property. If you have a hospital, health center, school, but we would have known that this belongs to government. But what I have seen there, I spent all my youthful life in Transamadi. I'm still doing business there. So what I have seen there looks to me like it's a property. What is built on that land is something that belongs to one individual. And it's $1 million question, that one individual. Since we don't know, we're all speculating.
All right.
That one individual, I am so angry that there is a EFCC, we call them anti-something. We have the same case in this place. You have the mechanics.
Ikoku. Okay.
We have the same story at Ikoku, where the same company or the same one individual has acquired
interesting, and
built the same mall or whatever supermarket. So in which society are we? One individual using government power acquiring or buying land outrightly.
Jude, I'm sorry, I've got to go. But thank you very much for bringing up the
you can go. Thank you.
Ikuku incident. Marcus, I would like you to take note of that. When we come back, we'll look at the similarities between the Oginigba slaughter and the Ikuku spare part market that also made way for a shopping mall. But let's read some messages now. This one says, the opening of the Oginigba market is a welcome development because it will generate more revenue for the local government as well as engage our people meaningfully, but would ask that the council authorities should fix the market, improve its sanitation, and open the roads for commuters. What you call Dinaka from Elele with that one. This one says, okay, not for me. The Oginigba market should coexist with the shopping mall. I also support that the LGA chairman should build a proper hygienic slaughter market too. The consternations are necessary. Both markets will benefit the people around the Oginigba axis. Philip from Oginigba, all right? People from Oginigba are typing and sending their messages. This one says, the only reason the local government chairman wants to reopen that place is because of the money he will make from taxing the traders, nothing else. Ernest from Muji has got his own arguments. This one says, recall that the Oginigba people occupied that place for a long time. That suggests that there is no proper synergy. Till now, there is still traditional covered emtor. If I trick with that one, okay? That's talking about the palm leaf, okay? This one says, my take is that Chijike Nwo should convert the supermarket to Akpor local government enterprise, thereby still creating jobs for the people. It will generate huge revenue for the LJ. Meanwhile, the other market remains so that more people can earn their living. Rivers people first is the watchword. Uche Wanchuku from Imboba. But Uche, what if there are owners who really bought that land? Are you saying that Akpor should take the land from them? But it's just, I don't think reopening the market is a good idea, but I think something more important. What is more important then? We're talking about the livelihoods of Rivers people. Marcus, just stay on the line. I've got a 2 minutes commercial break. When I do come back, and I will talk about your final thoughts on this very issue, and of course, Jude's concern as to the displacement of Ikoku market for same shopping mall. To stay tuned.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info.